Good morning. Today is day 263. Yesterday was 262. Oh, it's just numbers at this point. We carry on, right? So today is day 263. Cooking down the refrigerator, freezer, and working pantry meals. So I'm still working on my refrigerator and pulling things out of the freezer to complement the things in my refrigerator. I'm still not planning on going shopping. I'd like to at least wait until the middle of the month, and then it'll be a small shopping trip. Nothing big. I'm really trying hard this month to save money. Today is day 10 of my no spend. So I'm hoping to carry on with that for a while because I do have to pay for those trees being taken down. And the tree guy that I hired said he will call me tomorrow and let me know what day they're coming out to take down the trees. I'm really sad about my trees. They provided a lot of shade and a lot of beauty in my backyard, but two of them are much too close to the house. They're doing some damage to the roof, and the other tree is broken in half, so it's at the end of its life. So I really have no choice but to take them down. Now my backyard has been my sanctuary, and I really enjoy the shade back there. So it's really going to seem odd when I have so much sunshine back there. I get a lot of sun in my front yard, but my backyard, I purposefully planted trees back there for some nice shade, and it was always pleasant back there. But we have to do what we have to do sometimes, and even if it's not something that we really want to do. So that'll be very different for me to have those trees gone. But I'll adjust. I'll just do something else. I'll expand my little garden a little bit. That's my plan. And hopefully I'll be getting more harvest with more sun back there. I'm not sure what's for breakfast this morning. We'll have to go take a trip to the refrigerator and check it out and see what we have left. There's still plenty of food in there. I could probably go till the end of the month between the freezer and the refrigerator, and I'm just going to keep on going. How many of you guys are cooking down your freezer, refrigerator, and pantry? Let me know in the comments below. Alright, I'll be back shortly and we'll take a look. Well, here's my dining room clutter. And I've been working on this table. I've put a lot of stuff away, but I still have some crafts here. I have some gardening stuff for my little Ambiano garden. I have a couple things that I want to save for Christmas gifts. This is for the outdoors. So, yeah, I've got a ladder in here because up here I need to do some things up there, clean that up. So I've got a lot of things to do in here. In here I want to take all these Christmas cacti and put them in one pot. So that'll be a mess. I'd like to do that outside before the weather turns. I've got some throw rugs that I bought that I didn't do anything with. A bag of papers that I've been working through. A little dog. She stays. Even though she barks all the time. Hi, Lizzie. Hi, good girl. Anyway. And then over here is my painting cart. Now, of course, this is going to stay. but I need to reorganize it because I'd like to pull it out and start painting again. So yeah, lots of clutter in here, lots of things to declutter, and a lot of it is just putting things away. In here I have, this was from my shelving project, but then I had bought this paint, but then I didn't use it because I like the way they look, just natural. So, but I won't get rid of those. I'll use them for something else. And then a couple things I bought at Dollar Tree. I wanted to make a welcome sign. And these are all things that, this is water, fertilizer, different fertilizer. So this is all from my little Ambiano garden. So that needs to go up in my plant room. And then I need to put my little tomatoes up there too. I'm not getting any more tomatoes. I got 2 or 3 off of here. That's it. But I should have planted these outside, but I didn't. I wanted to see what they would do. So these are going to go upstairs, and this light doesn't go up any higher. You know, if it went up higher, it would be better. But this will work better for short plants. So, lots of things to declutter. These are my dining room dishes, and I really like them. I'm not getting rid of them. And then I have some crystal in here. Some fake candles, more mugs and things that go with the dishes. So I still have a lot of dishes, but a lot of these I'm going to keep. But I do have to clean that all up, just wash it and make it look fresh before the holidays. So, and this was my Allie. She was my soul dog. I had her for 14 years. She was diabetic the last 4, and I had to give her insulin shots, and that was traumatic for her and traumatic for me, but she died of natural causes when she was 14. She died here at home. So anyway, and this is one of my country paintings, my country scenes. So just a little shot of my paintings, and I really would like to get back to it. I paint in oil paints mostly, but sometimes I paint in acrylic. So down here, these are all my vegan and vegetarian cookbooks that I put together, a place for tax papers and things. I need to go through that too. And these stools I keep, I'd like to spray paint those black. I keep these for when the family comes over and we don't have enough chairs. I just pull these stacking stools out. So anyway, that's my dining room, my messy, messy dining room. And it didn't always look this way. It just got this way this year, really. So, and then this is another hutch. And over there I have another hutch. So lots of dishes and lots of glassware. And of course my beautiful plants. All right. I'll be back in a little bit. He likes to keep the girls clean. He washes their face. So sweet. I love these guys. Let's see what's for breakfast this morning. I have to start eating up some of this cheese. I have lots. I still have this little bit of cream cheese. This isn't this brand. This is just regular old cream cheese. So I want to finish eating that up. There's just a little bit left. And I have some bagels in the freezer. And these are onion bagels. So I'm going to have one of those with cream cheese. Very simple breakfast today. Okay, I'll be back. I will meet you at the stove. Well, this morning I'm just going to have a simple breakfast. This is all the cream cheese I have left, and I want to use it up before it goes bad. I think the expiration date on this was like December. And I think I bought it like last Christmas. So this cream cheese really lasted a long time. But, you know, sometimes some of these things, as long as they're not moldy, are still good. So I think the expiration on this cream cheese was October. So that's going to be coming up here soon. Still have fruit flies. They're so annoying. But, so today is really nice out, and I think I need to go out and water. And then after that, I think I'm going to work on my dining room a little bit more. So this is all I have left. Not much, but just a very simple breakfast this morning. And then I just have this everything bagel, and I'm going to put that on there, and that'll be tasty. So that's it for this morning's breakfast. You can always pair it with a piece of fruit or a smoothie. Would be good. All right. There it is. Breakfast day 263. Hello, good morning. I just wanted to have a little chat, of course. I wanted to talk about, in this day and age, and having too much abundance, and also now is the time to start using your stash. And the two things go together. The abundance you have accumulated in your house of food, clothing, incidentals, anything like that. With all the things going on with the price increases and all that, now is the time to start using the things that you prepared for this time. So I was looking on Walmart. I don't need anything right now, but I like the Ultimate Chicken. And that's Gardine's version of their gourmet chicken. And I was looking at the prices now, not that long ago, maybe a month, 6 weeks ago, I bought a couple packages of the Ultimate Chicken, and it was $7.48, something like that. Well, I was looking today, and now it's $9.48. It's gone up $2, which is ridiculous. So then I thought, well, they have the patties and they have the tenders. Now the tenders you get, I think the weight is the same, but with the patties, they're pretty big, and you only get 4. With the tenders, you get multiple tenders, and they're a good size. You know, they're like this, enough. Two is enough for a serving. 2 is not as big as the patties, but that's okay. So I thought, well, it would make a whole lot more sense if I bought the tenders, because those I can put in a salad, I can put them on a sandwich, and it's a smaller portion size, which is a good thing. So if I do repurchase them, right now I have enough, but if I do repurchase them, even though I like the patties, I'll get the tenders because I can stretch them further. Now I did notice too the Beyond Meat, that used to be like, I don't know, $7 depending on where you bought it, but that is now like $4.95. So that's not as expensive as it used to be. But there's a lot of videos online on YouTube that show you how to make something very comparable, if you like that, with probably less ingredients. So I think it's a good idea to purchase basic ingredients as opposed to foods that are already prepared, because making vegetarian chicken is not that hard. Now you can buy gluten flour, and you can get way more seitan chicken doing that than if you already bought it pre-made. Now my friends that eat meat, hang in there, because I just wanted to talk about this just a little bit for my friends out there that are vegetarian and vegan. So buying basic ingredients, and I have been saying this for many, many videos now, buying basic ingredients is the way to go. Basic produce when it's on sale, basic frozen fruits and vegetables, especially when they're on sale. Sometimes getting the bigger packages and repackaging those in smaller packages, so you don't get freezer burn, is a good way to go. And investing in a, what do you call it? The senior moment! Vacuum sealer, that's it. Investing in an inexpensive vacuum sealer might be a good idea. And then freezing things in individual portions that you will eat, or enough for, if you have a family, maybe for 2 or 3 servings, whatever your family needs. But even using your vacuum sealer to freeze smaller portions. Let's say you have a child that loves green beans, and you have a child that loves corn, or whatever it is they love, then you can pull that out and just make enough servings for that particular child, and they won't have to sit at the table until they finish their green beans. Same with meat. If you buy meat, and even if you buy vegetarian meat, freezing it in smaller portions is a good idea, because then too, once you have that eaten and thawed, you're not tempted to keep eating and overeating. So there's vacuum sealers out there that are handheld. You don't have to get the big unit. They do use special bags, but you can also get containers that you can reuse. And I'll show you a couple. Now I have several of these that I've had for a long time, and when I cleaned my cupboard over there, they were stashed way in the back where I couldn't use them. So I brought them up front, and they're just hard plastic. And this particular brand is Vacuum Craft, but there's a bunch of different ones. And then you can store your food in here, and this one is a canister with 2 canisters. So I have about four of these, and they work great. So, and they even have a calendar on there. Now these you can use in the refrigerator. I don't know about freezing in these, but this is more for refrigerator food. Now these even come with a hand pump that you just put over that, and then this little indicator, once all the air is out, it goes down. So I got these on Amazon quite a few years ago, but I'm sure they still have something similar, and it's something you can keep reusing. Okay, so Food Saver, if you don't want to get a big unit, Food Saver makes this small rechargeable unit. It's handheld. Now I have a regular, I think it's a Black & Decker Food Saver too. They're not that expensive, at least they didn't used to be. But they also have these Food Saver bags, and they're zipper bags, so I think you can reuse these if you clean them. And they're made to be used with the little Food Saver handheld. So, you know, it might be an option for you if you can't afford or don't have a big Food Saver. But I don't remember what I paid. I bought it quite a while ago, so it's not new. But as I start bringing things over for my little 5 cubic foot freezer, which I'm not using yet, but as I start bringing things over from my mother's house, I'm going to use this to seal some of the food. So I'm getting a different strategy, because I always just put everything in the freezer right after I bought it. But I want to see if I can preserve my food a little longer, and hopefully, fingers crossed, that'll work. So yeah, but now is the time to start using your stash. I've stocked up on a lot of flour. Not only for baking. I don't bake a lot. I never have. I mean, I can. I made bakery for showers, and when I got married, I made cupcakes and things like that, and chocolates, but I don't do that very often. I don't know, I guess it's just too much work. But I want to start thinking a little differently about using my food. So the flour I bought because I can make seitan out of it. And if you're unfamiliar with seitan, it's also known as wheat meat, because it's just the protein in wheat flour. Now I know that's not for everybody. A lot of people now have wheat allergies. My theory is it's because they're messing with the food, because you didn't hear all this stuff back in the old days where people, you know, couldn't eat bread and they couldn't eat this and they couldn't eat that. But now, for some reason, people have a lot of food allergies. So that would not be for you if you're gluten intolerant. But the gluten in wheat, it's very low carb, very high protein. So it's something that you can even eat if you're vegan and keto. But anyway, so I bought the flour because I could make wheat meat, I can make pasta, I can make bread, I can make bakery. There's so many things that you can make with flour. The list is almost endless. Sauces, gravies, just tons and tons. And it's a very cheap food source. So, and back to the seitan, what happens is if you use flour and you wash it, you wash all the carbohydrates out of the flour. So once you're washing the flour, I know sounds weird, but it becomes the water becomes very milky, and that is all the starches that are going out of the flour. And the more you wash it, the clearer the water will get, and what you have left is a ball of protein. Now, with that, you start out with a glob of flour like this, and by the time you're done washing all the protein out, or all this starch out, you're left with a ball like this. So, but still, it goes a long way. So today I'm having a little bit more of my red rose English breakfast tea, and I have a bunch of powdered creamers in my stash. I don't like them a whole lot in my coffee, but they're pretty good in tea. So I want to start using those up. This creamer is like a cinnamon French toast, and it's pretty good in the tea. So, preserving your food, using your stash, and then keep replenishing it. I mean, if you have to replenish, if you have 5 bags of flour in your stash, and you use up maybe, depending on how big the bags are, you use up maybe 1 bag every 2 weeks, then restocking your stash isn't that expensive. Even if a bag of flour is now, what, $3-4, where it used to be $1.50. But don't totally deplete your stash, but start using it. I mean, that's what we all saved it for, times like this. So I was watching Prepper Princess, who has a YouTube channel. She's very popular. Most of you have probably heard of her. And she lives in the Arizona desert, and they had a huge power outage where she lives. And she's a prepper. She has all kinds of generators and solar panels and just things for exactly what happened to them where she lives. So if you get the chance, go over and watch her latest couple videos about how she had been prepared. But even with that being said, there were still things that happened that she hadn't had the foresight to see. So she learned, and now she's got a whole bigger system, and her biggest thing was air conditioning. In the Arizona desert, the temperatures were going up in the hundreds. So those of you, my friends that live in California, you might want to go over and check out her videos so you can stay safe and cool. So yeah, all kinds of crazy stuff going on in the world, but we're good. We don't have to be afraid. We don't have to lack for anything. We just need to make adjustments to some of the things that we have and do. I mean, the old timers back in the day, they didn't have air conditioning, they didn't have heat, they didn't have a grocery store in their house. They had basic ingredients that they cooked with. They cooked on an open fire. Not that we're going to have to do that, hopefully not, but it might be an option that you might want to keep in the back of your mind. And don't forget, if the shift happens and you have a lot of things that rely on fuel, that might not be a good thing. You know, if you have a gasoline run generator, make sure you have enough gasoline, because you're not the only one that thinks this way. You know, there's a lot of people out there that either A, panic buy because they didn't think about it, or B, need to replenish what they do have. So you got to kind of, without driving yourself crazy, you got to kind of think these things through and play some what-if scenarios in your head. You know, make a game of it. What if this happens? What am I going to do? What if that happens? What would I do? And, you know, be smart about it and just protect yourself. So, I still haven't gotten to my dining room. I'm procrastinating. What if I didn't procrastinate? That's a good question. I would get my dining room cleaned up and I would feel much better. Plus that the donation people are coming Tuesday. All right, well, I just wanted to talk a little bit about that and share some of my thoughts with you. So I'll be back a little later and we'll see what else is up. Most of us have gathered up an abundance of things in our homes. So what if we didn't have so much abundance? What would happen if we didn't have all the things that we have? Well, I think there comes a fine line between too much abundance and just the right amount of abundance. If you have the right amount of abundance, you're going to use what you have. You're going to eat up your food in a reasonable amount of time. You're going to use your cookbooks. You're going to use your kitchen appliances. You're going to use the things that you have. And you're also going to be able to make those things easily accessible. So if you have too much, I mean, I'm guilty of this myself. I tend to layer things. They're organized, but it's the same story as with my containers, my vacuum containers. They were in the back of my cupboard where I couldn't get to them. So it was just too much bother to pull out the layers and use them. So making things easier to access, making your abundant things easy to access, starts with some purging. So for me, I have to think it through. I have to have a plan. I can't just willy-nilly go into a room and start tossing things, because then I make mistakes. And so far, that hasn't happened. I haven't felt like I've made any mistakes and gotten rid of too many things. But I have to actually sit and think about it and write it down and make a plan. I have a lot of deep cupboards, and really the things that now that I put at the way back are things that I very hardly, rarely ever use. I don't want to get rid of them because they're still useful, but to me, having a whole empty space in your cupboard doesn't make sense either. So a happy in between, so that I can still get to something without moving 20 things, but using up the space that I have in a cupboard or in a closet. That makes sense to me. Now that doesn't mean I can't have an empty closet in my house. I mean, that's great, you know, if you don't need it, or an empty cupboard if I don't need it because I might put something in there in the future. But having too much empty space encourages me to fill it up with something. And I don't want to do that. I didn't do it when I was younger. I sort of started this whole accumulating stuff when I still worked. And it was near the time where I knew I was going to retire soon. And I knew my income would be cut in thirds. So I started gathering and gathering and gathering. And I gathered a bit too much. And, you know, I can look back on that now and say, oh, you know, you really didn't need 3 or 4 sets of dishes. I mean, I liked to decorate back then. And that was another reason why I overbought. I got bored with things. You know, I got bored with my dishes, so I bought a new set, but I kept the old set. In case I get bored with the new set, I've got the old set. So, you know, I ask myself that question, you know, what if? What if I got rid of this? What would be the pros to me getting rid of a set of dishes? I wouldn't have to have them shoved in a cupboard that probably has way too much stuff in it already, and I wouldn't have to keep it clean, and I wouldn't have to switch it out. So I would, in that case, pick my favorite and let the rest go. And what if I let that go? Well, okay, then I let it go, and I still have dishes that I can use. So if you have an overabundance of stuff, ask yourself the what if question. What if I get rid of this? And usually you can say, well, you know, it's not that big a deal. And you'll be able to decide which things are most important to you. All right, well, I just wanted to talk about too much abundance for a little bit. We talked about using your stash now and keeping it replenished. And I think if we all do that, we're going to be good. I don't think we need to be worried about much of anything. So I'll be back in a little bit with my dinner, and it's probably just going to be the rest of the lasagna. Probably what I had yesterday, because I do want to finish that up. So I'll be back in a little bit with dinner. It's time for dinner. I still have some lasagna, and I still have one piece left after this. So that was a very cheap meal, just from things that I had on hand. I also have some more of the meat sauce, for lack of a better term, and some regular spaghetti sauce. So I'm going to put more sauce over this. And here I have some mixed vegetables, broccoli and corn. And I'm going to cut up this small zucchini from my garden. It's got a little top knot. I didn't get much of a zucchini yield, but usually I don't get any zucchini, but this year I did get a couple. And like I always say, hopefully with the tree gone next week, I'll get a little bit more sun in the garden, and I'll get more produce. So I'm just going to cut this into rounds, and about that thick. I don't like my zucchini mushy, so, and I just have a steamer, a microwave steamer here that I'm going to use. So I'm going to add some garlic salt. And I'm also going to add some of the seasoning for all the things from Imperfect Foods. It's like I said, this is good and I want to use it up. because it wasn't cheap. Okay. And then I'm going to microwave this for 3 or 4 minutes, see if it's done. If not, I'll stick it in for a little longer. And in the meantime, I'm going to prep my lasagna. And then I'll microwave that. So this is going to be a very quick dinner. And that's good because it's already 6 o'clock and I'm hungry. All right, so I worked on my dining room off and on all day, and I did make a lot of progress, but this video is getting pretty long, so I'll show that to you tomorrow. I'm just going to add the sauce to one bowl here because the meat part is pretty thick. So I just want to consolidate that. And then I'm just going to spoon this over my lasagna. And I'm looking forward to eating this again. So that was a very, very small lasagna for 1 or 2. And this is meal number 3. Okay. So I still have enough pasta sauce for a spaghetti meal. And I made this out of a block of Beyond Burger. And then I added a little bit of veggie crumbles to it. So I'll be getting at least 4 meals out of just, you know, the one block. And I did get that on sale. I think it was $4.99. So when you figure 4 meals, you know, it's $1.50 a meal. So that's very doable. All right, I'm going to plate this up once I get everything heated up, and I'll be back. Okay, so here we have it, dinner day 263. Some mixed vegetables and homemade lasagna. All right, I put some of this grated topping on the veggies. Put a little on the lasagna too, just for a little extra flavor, and I want to use this up. It's got about that much left in there. It does go a long way. All right, so that's all I have for you today, my friends. I want to wish you abundant blessings. I love you guys. Be good to yourself. Be good to others. God bless you, and I'll see you next time. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe, comment, and like. Thanks for watching.